First impressions are everything in life. They say that within the first 7 seconds of you meeting someone or engaging with someone, they will already have made a lasting and solid impression of you. This is doubly true when you're pitching investors who are literally trying to figure out if they can trust you and give you their money and you'll make it back for them. So this begs the question, when you're fundraising, do you send a cold email or do you get a warm intro? Do you send your pitch deck as a DocSend link or a PDF or an attachment? Do you actually give them their deck before they agree to meet with you? These are all questions that come up when you're starting to figure out how to engage with investors for the first time, whether it's for a seed raise, a Series A raise, or even a Series B raise. These are true and they become even more important as you get into later stages. Having raised capital from some of the best investors in Silicon Valley, I've pitched over 150 investors and raised from some of the best of them, including Andreessen Horowitz and Founder Collective. I'm going to walk you through the 3 most important principles that you absolutely need to know so that you can actually engage with investors the right way and you can send your pitch deck the right way without looking like a fool. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS business faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon because I drop a video like this 3 times a week with actionable strategies on how to grow your SaaS business with the TK energy. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. If you're already part of our community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, welcome back. It's seriously awesome to see you over here. I remember when I was first raising money for ToutApp, I was not in the Valley. I didn't know really any of the major investors. I didn't really have a full network. I just had a couple of friends and that was it. And I was trying to break in. And at that point, I did anything and everything to break in and get angel investors and seed funds to pay attention to me. Now, the hustle paid off. I was able to land angel investors like Esther Dyson and Eric Ries, seed funds like Founder Collective, 500 startups. We went on to raise our Series A from Jackson Square Ventures, incredible firm, and also our Series B from Andreessen Horowitz. So it worked out, but it was not through a lot of trial and error. So I want to walk you through the 3 most important principles to know as you first engage with investors, how to do it effectively and not look like a fool when you're doing it so that you can actually close deals, raise the funding, and build those incredible businesses. If you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button and let's go into principle number 1. So principle number 1 that I like to follow, I teach all my founders, is when you have the choice, go after a warm introduction. Given the choice between a cold intro, like literally a cold outreach email, and a warm intro always wins. And if you are reaching out to an investor that is worth their value, they're not just selling, it's not just dumb money, it's like really great money and value that's gonna come, chances are their inbox is flooded. They're more likely to engage on a deal and open a deal and say yes to a meeting from someone that they already trust. So you should always go in for a warm intro when you are first reaching out to an investor. How do you get warm intros? Number 1, happy customers. Some of my best introductions actually came from happy customers. We had happy customers, they were connected to investors, and they literally went into those investors and said, hey, this software is amazing, you guys have got to take a look. And that's how we got connected with some of our best angel investors, seed funds, and Series A, Series B investors. The second thing is angel investors. This is where you put your angel investors to work. Ask them like, hey, we're raising, here are the key funds that we want to break into. We want to raise our Series A from or Series B from, and get them to do the work to get you those warm intros and connect. In some cases, someone that's an angel investor may kind of be related to someone, but they may not know that person, but it's a lot easier for them to get connected and then intro you in than you going in cold because they may be more well-known or more connected in the space. So that's perfectly fine. Opt for that. Number 3, get your advisors to intro you for you. A lot of times you have advisors, you have coaches, and they usually have a deep network of investors. I know I do this. Anyone that's part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, when it comes to raising, we do pitch deck reviews. It's an extension of their strategic narrative. We actually review their metrics. I coach them on how to actually think about the fundraise, and then I introduce them to my network of investment partners. This is something that I do, and I write deal memos. So get your advisors to do that as well. And lastly, you should always make sure that when you're engaging, do it warm. Make sure that whoever is reaching out has the right words, a good like short memo on like what is this deal, why is this important, what's going on, and a teaser deck that they can send along. All right, so that's principle number one. Do warm intros, use all these different avenues instead of just going in cold, because it just always works better. Is it possible to do it cold? Sure, but it's just not as effective. All right. Principle number two is you should adopt zero friction. Zero friction, meaning you should always have a teaser PDF. I've seen a lot of advice out there where they're like, don't give a deck unless they agree to a meeting. Who knows who they're going to share it with? And I always think that's that's terrible advice. Investors want to first understand if you are in the zip code of what they are good at, what they can understand, if there's a market they understand, if it matches with their thesis, if it's an investment that aligns with whatever they promise their LPs. So it's super important for them to do that. That way they're not wasting their own time and they're not wasting your time. So I always say, don't be cagey about this. Create a teaser deck. A teaser deck doesn't go into all the details, into everything around your financials and your roadmap. You don't have to give all of that, but you can still create a teaser deck. One of the things I like to do is have a 12-slide deck that goes into the core fundamentals around the business. And I actually walk you through on how to create one of those. You can check out this video, my 12-slide pitch deck. In it, I go into a lot more detail into what those slides should be, why it's important, how they all come together. You don't have to go right now. I'll link to it below so that you can go to it after this video. But super important, have zero friction, like actually have a teaser deck. Make it super easy to schedule that meeting. All that matters is you get that meeting with them. And I've seen founders, like they'll get introduced and they'll just respond like, hey, great to meet you, investor, the best investor in the world. Here's my Calendly. And it's like, look, I get it. You think you're hot. But in this kind of thing, it's important to understand the power dynamics. And in the power dynamics, whether you realize it or not, the investors have a little bit more power. Unless you're an extremely hot deal and you really don't need this investor and don't care for this investor, which I doubt is the case for majority of people, right? So just make it easy for them. The thing I would do is I would just say, hey, great to meet you. I'd love to meet. Let me know if you have a schedule link or an assistant you'd like to loop in. Also, if you prefer, here is my schedule. Feel free to book a time. Either works for me. And that's like super respectful. And I do this for everyone. It's super respectful. It makes it easy and makes it frictionless for them to actually book that meeting with you, whether it's through their EA, through your Calendly link, or they want you use theirs. And that's totally fine. You make it perfectly easy for them to say yes to anything. Because all that matters is you get in that meeting. That's the next step. Also, you want to make it easy for them to say yes, right? So I've gotten some deal intro emails where like, hey, so-and-so company is raising, and there's like a little overview, and then it's like, click here for the deck, and I click for the deck. I click on that link, it takes me to this other thing. They're like, log in through your Google account. I'm like, why does the deck need my Google account? Are they gonna read my, I click on that. It takes me to this other thing where it's like this screen with these graphs. I still don't have the pitch deck. And I don't know where to go for it. And that's not easy to say yes. And at this point, unless I really care, unless it came from a really trusted source, unless I really want in on the sale, I'm not gonna do it. And so you're just hurting yourself. So make it super easy. For that teaser deck, use an attachment or just link directly to the PDF. That way it's super easy for them to look at it and say yes. After that, you can add more friction points, you can add more analytics because look, I invented a bunch of the analytics that exist right now along with others, but like around email tracking and click tracking and how many slides are you in the deck. Like we started that at ToutApp. Yesware started that with us. Like we were early in those. I know it feels good, but it's not a great user experience always. So in the early stages, make it super easy for them to say yes. Get them to the deck so that they can actually engage. So that's principle number 2, make it zero friction. Teaser deck, easy scheduling, easy to say yes. And that makes a huge, huge difference. Now, before I go into principle number 3, which goes into what happens in the meeting, let me just pause here for a second. If you're starting to get the power in this where, different ways to get warm intros, make it zero friction, all of these things, make that 7 seconds just better because it shows that, look, we have a very valuable business. There are no tricks here. I don't need to track you or anything. This is an incredible investment opportunity, and this person says so that you trust as well. So do you want to get on a meeting so we can discuss further? Like this makes you show up in a much more powerful way, and that's what really, really matters. Because investors, in that first 7 seconds, what they're really trying to figure out is, can I trust this person? Is this a big enough market where I can actually return my fund? Is this worth my time? Because I get so much BS. And right now the market has a lot of BS. So if you can actually engage in this way, you're just gonna come out so much stronger. And if you're starting to see the power in that, can I just get a yes in the comments below. Also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It means a lot to us also when you smash that like button. It helps us spread our word. We put a lot of love into these videos. And also, if you're building out a SaaS business, you're figuring out your fundraising strategy, your go-to-market strategy, your product strategy, I invite you to check out my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. It helps you create a one-page strategy around your SaaS business on the key 5 pillars. It's completely free. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this video. Let's go to principle number 3. Principle number 3 is your initial meeting, right? And your follow-up. What's super important is that you follow up just as strong through that initial meeting. So the initial meeting, you want to make sure you actually run through your full deck. Again, I'll link to that 12-slide deck presentation below. You can check that out, check that episode out. Number 2, you may also need to go through some data. Like they'll want to dig into some data. If the meeting's going well, they're going to want to know more. So what's super important is after that meeting, you should always follow up. Now, by the way, I did an entire episode of what goes through the investor's mind as you're sitting through that meeting, when you're pitching them on that meeting and what's important to them, what questions they're asking. We get so enamored on our side, on the founder side of the deal process, we forget what the investors trying to optimize for. They're just people also. They have bosses, they're LPs. So you can check out this episode where I actually walk you through what happens inside an investor's head during a pitch meeting. Super important to watch. You don't have to go right now. I'll link to it below as well, but you should definitely check out that episode. But anyway, after that meeting, you should always follow up. You should follow up with your deck. If they ask for specific data, follow up with that data, and then also ask for next steps. It is perfectly okay for you to look an investor in the eye and say, hey, I would love to understand what you view as next steps and how your investment process works. It's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not eager. It's not thirsty. It's literally like, hey, listen, I am doing this fundraise. I want to make sure I'm optimizing my time with investors that are serious. And you're not saying those words, but it shows that way, right? It's like, can you just tell me what the next steps are in your mind and what your process is? And they'll tell you a lot about what their process is. If there's a partner meeting that needs to be had, if there's a partner they need to talk to, or if it's just them, if they're leaning in or leaning back, all of those things come into play. And if they're not interested, they'll just tell you. And that's, you'd rather get to a quick no than a long drawn out no. So super important. Follow up, ask about what the next steps are, and share the deck and the data. By the time you're getting into sharing the deck and the data, you should authenticate it. You should make sure it's protected. You can put it in a DocSend file, a Dropbox link, whatever it is, and make sure that only the right people get to see it. Because now you're actually giving them more access. And it's perfectly fine to make that process with a little bit more friction. So to recap, when you're sending your deck, number 1, make sure you try to get a warm intro. These are all the different ways. You can watch this video again if you want to review those ways. Number 2, make it zero friction. Have a teaser deck. Make it easy to schedule and also easy to say yes. Let them just get into the deck. Number 3, the initial meeting, always have a follow-up. Check out the video I'm going to link to down below on what happens during the initial meeting and how to run it. I'll also link to the video down below on how to create your 12-slide pitch deck. Even if it's for your Series A or Series B, the principles are very, very much the same, and I give you the nuances as well for each of those fundraisers. If you got value from this video, be sure to smash that like button for that YouTube algorithm. It just also means the world to me and my team. We put a lot of love into these videos. If you got value from this and you have questions or comments, please comment below. We'd love to hear from you. We answer every single comment, even if it's just a yes, we respond back. And I drop a video like this 2 to 3 times a week, every week, on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business, but when you are with us, yours is gonna be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode.